Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to talk to y'all about spirit in me and you, and those of us who share those names. The spirit that wants to be free. And then also, I want to talk to you about child acting, child actors, taking actions, and speaking in scripts for, adults and authority systems that effectively feed us and sort of pay us in some way, perhaps with a little money, but definitely with at least not being cold usually, and having blankets on us and stuff. And general care, general needed support, at least, is usually provided by adults. And sometimes we have to be for them, we get to be sometimes too, child actors. And in various ways, when I say that word, those words, child actors, obviously one can think and conjure up many things. There's certain celebrity people that probably come to mind for you. There are for me, as I sit here and consider that. And then one, just right before this, I saw this little video about these people that were promoting President Biden for you to vote for him, for all of us to vote for President Biden to rule us from sea to shining sea, us, the U.S., the United States. For me to choose that he represent you and us, or that we disassociate ourselves from that national family dynamic in some way. Anyway, I saw this little video with this young man, and man, he's got good energy. Like, I'm saying, like, a lot of like performance capacity and skill for communication. And so he went through the roster of Democrats potentially running in this upcoming election, and he mentioned Marianne Williamson, who among the candidates for me seems to be one of the most interesting, just because I really like A Course in Miracles. Actually, that's like mainly the only reason. And there's caveats to that, but I think Course in Miracles is fascinating. I think the fact that somebody who would be in the front office has like marinated in that course is like pretty interesting. Anyway, and then he mentioned somebody else. Oh, he mentioned that Marianne Williamson potentially abusing her staff or something like that. Like, who knows if that's true, but just mentioning it is like, making the waters muddy. And he is a kid. This guy's a kid. He's a teenager. What is he, like 12, 14? Maybe 16, maybe 18. Bro, either way is okay, young man. You seem cool to me. And you've obviously developed your presentation style, is what I'd like to say to you, young man who's advertising for Joe Biden. But also, I kind of sort of mostly think that if I watched your life, I would know that you haven't done proper research to be as certain as you pretend. You are using, logic and argumentation with skill, which is something that humans, not all of them, can do. It's a skill that we gained. I think the sophists, I heard this from John Vervaeke recently, were known to be proud of the fact that they would, like lawyers, argue for a side just to win it, not with the it doesn't matter if it's right or not. They were called sophists. They were using logic, to an argumentation for a side that they were sort of paid for, and they were, considered a high status. It was a cool game, and this is what Socrates was saying no to. Kind of, they were like blatantly doing it, but pretending they weren't. So Socrates brought in this idea that we should use our argumentation and couple that with admittance for the fact that we have a horse in the game, with an innocent acknowledgement and awareness for the fact that we're biased, that we know we're speaking based on our position, our position's attempt to get what it wants and avoid what it doesn't want. And that, of course, includes other people's positions and things, according to one's ability to be that intelligent or not. And that it is intelligence for us to include the fact that we are using our logic and our ability to make good arguments and for our purpose, but then we admit that we do have our biased position and purpose underneath it, and that there's so much we can't know. We bring this into conscious communication, and that's what I'm saying. I would feel like if I could like spy on that young man who's campaigning for Biden, I think I would see that he is just living a whatever life, Maybe he seems like he's probably pretty happy. I bet he's paid well. I bet, young man with lots of energy. I bet he's having fun and laughing a lot. I bet he's not really studying whether Marianne Williamson, it's true that she really did abuse her employees. And beside that, someone who does that themselves can claim it about another and avoid it, that it's happening in their own side. It is a human dynamic. People have been it verbally to me, and I to them. And it all gets forgiven in the let's see, it all gets forgiven from the perspective of what we would clearly will to want. Clear-mindedness, actually, like in alignment. And to accept that I don't have to have a problem with now, and you on the other side of your screen, or he, that guy who's doing the bidding for Biden, the world may seem to say, and this is the story with which my character plays, that he, Joe E, is here, and that guy is on the other side of my screen, and so that girl, or all y'all people, but the Biden, the young man who's doing the bidding for Biden, he seems separate from me. And just in the world of distinctions, there's ways to distinguish ourselves, and that's the world of Jnana Yoga in some way integrated. And there's another underneath Jnana. Jnana is the yoga of the intellect, the yoga of description, the yoga of dissection, of distinctions, description, and it should be sharp, Jnana Yoga, actually, when practiced. Not just sharp. No, Jnana Yoga is sharp. There's Bhakti underneath. Bhakti is the yoga of the heart. It's the yoga of devotion, yoga of caring, of emotion. And in Bhakti Yoga, I can practice the idea that the guy who does the bidding for Biden, and you, the guy with the phone in your hand, or girl, or whoever, whatever, you seem to be over there. And then I can, from the practice of Bhakti, remember what the Course of Miracles teaches me, which is one thing is that it says, you really think, are you listening? You really think that you are in a body, and you really think that you are in a society, but a body and a society are in you. It also says, by the way, you don't have to believe these things, you may actively resist them, just listen, remember, remind yourself, try it on a little bit, see what the meditations do for you. So anyway, a society is full of many separate things and parts. Sorry, I'm watching this really beautiful bird glide here. Yeah, there it is. Really gorgeous. Anyways, as it shows its underbelly to me in this perfect light, it's really nice. So there can be a level where the world of my story and of perceptions seems that the cashier is separate from me, or you on the phone, the bird, I'm here, and maybe even interests are separate. I can see that there certainly within the world of story is that happening. The happening happens within the story, actually, and I believe that's true. I'm willing to question everything as well, actually. So, from this Bhakti perspective, I go underneath the story of separation, especially when interests seem super separate or something. Then, or if the world's just separation, problem, pain, death, difficulty, decay, and I can in a moment do a few things. I can see and remember that the thing that I'm seeing and experiencing in some ways is a lot like a story where I live is, and those quote-unquote are words. These are words. My mouth is speaking. These are the words. I am the words this mouth is speaking. We are the words these ears hearing. This is how we're appearing as people on phones. People on phones on a planet called Earth under a blue sky, or if it's at night, whatever, or if it's whatever, wherever you are, trees or not, walls, whatever. Let's see here. Goodness, so beautiful, all these birds are here. Underneath, okay, so especially where seems to be something like separate interests appearing, and strong demonstrations of that, like, oh no, meaningless meaning, my meaningless thoughts are showing me a meaningless world, the chaos of meaningless meaning, and the cruelty, and the brutality, and the futility, or something like that in the story. There can be a way for us to, no matter what, at that moment, step underneath and recognize, nope, I don't have to do anything to change anything. I can, for instance, I just made my posture better with my spine. I can even set myself up in in different ways. And one way to know I need do nothing, actually. And turning my eyes off, taking duty for some time to sit, meet, and greet the kingdom within, the great rays. Goodness, Ray. The shiny, unstoppable bright light inside, underneath everything. Like in the story we see is like a movie, the metaphor of a projector at a movie theater. All the story is made of blockages to that light. And we can just remember to give the insight of the light underneath that we share, actually, our common interest, that you see me beyond my mistakes, that you see that we both wish that I see you beyond yours. And that's a win, for everyone. So, anyway, this guy doing the bidding for Biden, he mentioned some other Democratic person I don't know, that they've been on Trump payroll or something like that, maybe, or something, I don't know. And then Biden and how he's done so many great things, even though most people don't know, the media refuses to report it, but he did it with such class and style, And let's see, however old he is, I don't think he's over 19. And in that case, he is a child actor. Speaking in its scripts that are sort of placed upon him, or being benefited by it too, for sure. In some major way. And do I think that he should be ashamed? Let's say I'm right, that he's wrong and he doesn't know and he's just paid, blah, 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 blah. And that turns out that that's what the right is. that I just said, that's the right truth or something of this. Actually, that's actually what's actually happening. If I looked at him and then if I reported that, it would be that I would say, hey, he was eating cake with his friends, and he was swimming, and he was watching videos that confirmed his belief and being told things, but he didn't really do enough studying for him to know. Let's say that it does turn out that would be my direct report and experience of the thing. Do I think that he should be ashamed of himself? He's a kid, he's a kid. You should be ashamed of yourself. Godness, forgive us for this. Forgive me of that. I've forgiven the world ever, and let me see beyond it to the treasure of the world of forever. The great light inside, so that it might inspire us to speak, to do our actions inspiredly, to act inspiredly, bringing with us our metaphysical, mystical, meditational anchors, the thoughts I share with God with you, the thoughts we share with God with us, the thoughts you share with God with me. Love created me like itself. Creativity created me creatively. Playfulness created me playfully. Kindness created me kindly. Intelligence created me intelligently. Acceptance created me acceptingly. Acceptingly. Appreciation created me appreciatively. Expansion created me expandingly. My inner child created me inner childly. My king created me kingly. My queen created me queenly. Quated. So, no. K-N-O-W. Yes. Here. This. I think we shan't not shame that man, the guy who does the biting, the young man who does the biting for Biden. Even if I'm right, if I saw him and if I reported for sure, definitely, like, hey, I spied on him for 3 days, or 30 days, let's say. He's not doing his investigations really. He doesn't really know, something. I just feel like I would be reported. He's cool. He's got a lot of good social skills. But if that were the fact, if that's what I reported, should he be shamed? No. N-O-W. No, N-O. Now. Yeah. Know this. Yes. There's a spirit in me that wants to be free. And that sentence I share with you, it may be fear to somewhere in the excitement. Like, really? Like, are you serious? Like, no matter what? Is that okay? Make everything for what? Goodness sake. Goodness. Okay. Godness. Gods and goddesses. Goodness gracious.